Hello and welcome to this videocast for subscribers to davidicke.com. Well, excuse my glazed, faraway look, but I've spent much of the day watching the alleged debate in the Houses of Parliament, the House of Commons specifically, where members of Parliament in this country have voted by a massive margin, 524 to 43, to allow airstrikes by the British military in Iraq against ISIS, ISIL, Islamic State, whatever it's called tomorrow. And so the United Kingdom is back in Iraq. Why they ever move out, I don't know, because they might as well stay there, because you know they're going back. And what we're looking at now, as I've been saying would come for so many years, is Orwell's Perpetual War. We have the British Prime Minister, David Cameron, today, saying in the debate that these airstrikes against this Islamic State will go on for years. Well, that's just the start of it. What he has said in this motion before the House of Commons today is that it's just for airstrikes against Islamic State in Iraq. But anyone with a brain knows that this is just the next stage of a long, long process that has led us to this perpetual war. If you have a war against a specific enemy in a specific kind of country, then there comes a time when that war is over because someone's won. But when you have this war against terror and terrorism in its multiple forms, how do you ever know when terrorism has ended? You can't say that, because you don't know what's coming tomorrow, at least in the theoretical way that this war on terror has been sold to the public. And so you've got the perpetual war that Orwell talked about, a perpetual war to constantly acquire more land, more resources, and to justify a fierce police state at home to protect the public. This was all said in this debate again today, yawn, 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 to protect the public from the terrorists on home soil. And if you go and see the photograph library on my Facebook page, or you read my books, or look at previous videocasts, you'll see that for a long, long time since this whole thing started, I've been saying, look, this is a process leading to an all-out war in the Middle East. And this was being said while people like David Cameron were saying there will be no new war. He actually said that. Absolute lie, because he bloody well knows and knew at the time that that's exactly where it was leading. Also, they've said, both Obama and Cameron, there'll be no boots on the ground. Well, one intervention in this so-called debate today that was in any way telling, there were a few others, but mostly it was unbelievable lack of understanding and programmed compliance. But one intervention by a veteran MP called Dennis Skinner was short and sweet, but very to the point, in which he asked, how long is this going to go on? Well, the answer was years. And secondly, when does the mission creep start? Because, you know, I've been talking for years and years, going way back now, about two techniques of mass mind manipulation, problem, reaction, solution, as I call it, You create the problem, you get the reaction, do something, and then you offer the solution to the problem you've created. And that's what ISIS is. It's a problem in search of a solution, and the solution is to launch this war in the Middle East, this latest war in the Middle East. And the other technique that goes along with that is what I call the totalitarian tiptoe. So you go, you're going to Z, but you go in steps so that people don't overwhelmingly see that the steps are all designed to lead towards Z right from the start, right from A. They're leading towards Z, and that's what we've seen unfold in terms of what's been happening in the Middle East. With step by step, they've moved us towards where we are today, and where we are today is not where it's designed to end. It's designed to end with an all-out war. And I've talked for so long about how the world is a lunatic asylum. And we have today seen the British Parliament, as in America with Obama and these other countries in this so-called coalition. What a joke that is. I'll come to that. We've seen them announce that they're going to war against an enemy that those countries created. What? But that's how it's done. If there's not a natural enemy to justify what you want, i.e. military intervention in the Middle East in this case, then you create one. And, if you look on my website over the weeks, on the headlines page, you'll see incredible amounts of information confirming, never mind pointing to the fact, that what we call Islamic State, ISIS, was actually created by the very people that are now saying we must fight them to save the world. And here's just one story. It's based on the quotes of a former CIA contractor. And the headline is saying that the CIA are both training and combating, it calls it ISIL, whatever name they choose. I mean, the guy's called Stephen D. Kelly, and he made these remarks in a phone interview from California. And the news story says this. I mean, I'm reading this because it encapsulates what I'm saying. On Wednesday, the US House approved President Barack Obama's strategy to train and arm moderate militants in Syria to tackle the threat of ISIL. Well, that's, how can I put it? Bollocks, that's it. Because there are no moderate fighters or rebels in Syria. There's ones that go bang, 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 bang. They're terrorists. And then there's others go bang, 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 bang. And they're moderates. There is no difference. And as I'll come to, they're all connected anyway. So what's actually happening with Obama's arming of these moderate rebels in Syria is he's arming ISIS, as he has been doing all along. Again, I'll come to all this. So anyway, it goes on. The Pentagon plans to train and arm 5,000 militants in Syria as part of the Obama administration's long-term strategy to confront ISIL. No, long-term strategy to get rid of Assad. Thank you very much. Anyway, this is what Kelly said. The CIA is being faced with their current task of continuing to arm and train rebels, which they've admitted to doing, the so-called Free Syrian Army, the moderates. And at the same time, Kelly said, the CIA is being asked to combat the group ISIL, which is getting harder and harder for them to mask, that essentially, he says, the Free Syrian Army and ISIL are the same group, absolutely. So if you arm and fund the Free Syrian Army, the moderates, you're arming the people that they voted today in Britain to fight.